everyone, I'm back. It's still really snowy outside and it's a little windy, but we're here with another Turf Wars video. First, I'd like to say, Nancy, you did an amazing job finding some fungi out in nature. I loved all of the research you did in order to talk about lichens. They are such cool organisms, and I know we've been having a conversation on social media about what exactly the relationship between the fungi and the cyanobacteria or algae in a lichen is. So that was really awesome. I loved it. You did a great job. So let's give you 5 stars for that one.
Turf Wars, a battle of wits, knowledge, and creativity. Which naturalist will prove they're the best? Choose your fighter and watch the action unfold on Turf Wars!
Nancy, your next challenge for me was to find some nature images in art. I love talking about nature being portrayed in art. I've talked about animals in gargoyles before, and I'd like to do more explorations of nature in art in the future. But today, I could have looked up some images of nature art online and stayed inside where it was warm, but I didn't want to skimp on the challenge, so I'm out here in the Chicago suburbs, and I'm gonna walk around a little bit and look for some outdoor nature art. So the first stop on my outdoor nature art tour is the town of Homewood, Illinois, which is home to several murals by artist Richard Haas, who employed the trompe-l'oeil method of painting, where his murals look like they're three-dimensional and are popping off the buildings. I like the one behind me because it's the image of a glass house, or like a greenhouse, with a whole bunch of potted plants inside, and they're really very pretty looking. So now I'm going to flip the camera around and zoom out so you can see the whole 3D effect of this mural. So as you can see when we zoom out a little, it really looks like this greenhouse is popping out of the wall of the building. You can see some shadows on the side and all kinds of cool potted, maybe like tropically plants. I see maybe some roses on the side here. This one definitely doesn't look like it's native to North America, but it's just a really nice, faithful rendition of a whole bunch of plants in 3 dimensions. After a bit of walking, I found another mural that features plants. Now, bear with me. I know you're going to say that agricultural plants like the corn in this mural don't really count as nature, but they are still plants, and what's more important is that the corn in this mural is highly representative of the culture and the economy of the Midwest, especially, you know, historically, and even still today. A lot of the plants that a lot of the people around here see are domesticated in some way, and corn is incredibly prevalent in Illinois, so I found a mural with some corn on it, and also there's like trees and things in the back, so I feel like this counts. Nancy, I know you said that one of the most common insects you found in art near you was beetles, but I think around here the most common insect in art might be butterflies. So I am now in Palos Heights, Illinois, and I found this awesome monarch butterfly mural on the side of a building. Monarch butterflies are a hugely important cultural insect in a lot of places, but I feel like many people here in the Midwest have been focusing on butterflies because prairie, or you know, what used to cover the land here, is or was really important habitat for butterflies like monarchs. So I really like this stylized mural. I think it pays homage to an insect that, you know, we could be doing a good job of helping, since it is a threatened or endangered species, by creating more habitat and more connected habitat corridors within our backyards and our parks and other green spaces in the Chicago region. Okay, Nancy and friends, our last stop on this road trip today is St. Mary's Street Park in St. Charles, Illinois. This park has a whole bunch of sculptures, and I think some of them have some nature in them, so let's take a look at some sculptures too. I love this metal sculpture of a frog. It's so sweet. Look at it. They put in a lot of details. The texture of the skin, the eardrum, the external eardrum that frogs have, the nares on the nose, those big bumped up eyes. And I think it's really cute that somebody put a sweater on it in the snow, because at this time of year, all of our frogs are deep in the mud, hibernating or estivating to stay away from the cold or stay safe from the cold. And I think it's really cool that this sculpture not only is, you know, a neat outdoor nature sculpture, but they also installed it right next to a water feature. So the sculpture fits very well into its little micro landscape. Frog. Okay, I really like this one. It's like, maybe it's a maple leaf or a sycamore leaf. They look very similar. But this sculpture, in addition to being very faithful to the shape of one of those leaves with that sort of, you know, irregular exterior edge on the leaf, it's also a functional sculpture. So it's, you can see the bend here. It's a bench. It's a leaf bench. I like that we've been able to find a broad diversity of nature objects represented in art today. This is our first fruit. It's a pear, which again, you might argue as an agricultural product doesn't count as quote-unquote nature, but you know, I think it works because it's a fruit, and you know, the ancestor of the domestic pear certainly grew naturally or wildly. Also, it's a nice pear, so like I had to include it in the video. It's just so nice. Okay, so this one might be my favorite. It's another aquatic subject sculpture in an aquatic landscape, so right here next to the river. Look at this beautiful snapping turtle they did. It's made out of metal again, but I just love the detail. It's got the claws, it's got the little beak. Go around here to the back. It's got all the scoots, or the protective plates on the shell. And from looking at the shape of this turtle and what I saw online, I think it's supposed to be an alligator snapping turtle. So we have two different species of snapping turtle here in Illinois, the common and the alligator. Alligator snapping turtles are really only found in like the southern part of the state, but the alligator snapping turtle does look exceptionally cool. So even though it might not be the correct snapping turtle for this part of Illinois, it's still an amazing sculpture. I really, really like this one. They just were so faithful to the animal in all of the details and the positioning on this sculpture. This one is really great. The last sculpture of the day is this little one. It's called Natural Wonders, and while I don't advocate sitting on wildlife, I think this one is really interesting. There's a child with a telescope and a hat that has some oak leaves and acorns on it, sitting on the back of a turtle, and then there's also a rabbit hanging out on the back taking a ride, and the boy's clothing has like grain and a frog, and even the back of the turtle has some interesting details like these handprints. So it's a really interesting detailed piece, and I wanted to end with this one because it's a cool synthesis of the things I'm interested in. This is a sculpture with nature and a person, showing how they can be interrelated, and also how curiosity about nature can be fostered from a young age. So I really, really, really like this piece of art too, and I think I'd like to end with this one because it's kind of a cool message that people are part of the environment and we should be learning to love and respect natural things. Alright, well, that's all of the nature art I was able to find on this cold, snowy day in Chicagoland, but I really hope you all enjoyed the neat art pieces I was able to find. I really enjoyed this challenge because it was an excuse for me to go on a little bit of a local road trip and find some neat pieces of art I hadn't seen before, so thanks for the challenge, Nancy. Now I guess it's time for me to give you a new challenge. Back when I was in the Utah desert on my Thanksgiving vacation, I came across these interesting rocks. So even though most of the geology that was interesting in the Utah desert and the canyons was the striated or layered, stripy, different colored sandstone, which was deposited over time in sedimentary layers, that area has also experienced geologic activity of the volcanic nature. So these are actually volcanic rocks that were sort of broken up and brought up to be on the surface of the ground here. So my challenge for you is to show me some sort of evidence of volcanic activity, preferably some sort of volcanic rock. I hope you're up to the challenge and it's not too hot for you to handle. Don't forget that you all can play along at home. Feel free to tag Nancy and myself on any of your social media posts where you are completing our challenges, and I'll see you all in the next Turf Wars video. Bye!